I hope everybody
Good
said
morning
good
in the
morning.
chat.
Y'all are quiet this morning. We just got back. We should be fired up right now. We should be.
Okay.
The hell? I mean, it took me a whole day to recover. I don't know about y'all, but it took me a moment to
I'm still
recover.
recovering.
You still haven't recovered, Dr.
Still
Yassel?
recovering.
It's definitely taken me a moment to get. I had to shut everything off. I had to turn my phone off and literally just okay, let me just make sure my volume is down. They're literally just, no, I'm not doing anything. I'm not talking to nobody. I don't care who wants me, who needs me. I really don't care in this moment. I have to zoom, 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 zoom. I had to give myself a moment to just refresh and recharge. So welcome, y'all. This is your weekly setup class. I'm actually very excited to be here. We are just coming fresh live off of our Dallas workshop, the Launch, Land, and Leverage workshop. I've been really fired up about it. I've been going live every Monday to get people fired up about the workshop, getting them coming to the workshop and all of that good stuff. And I'm just getting all my notes, all my stuff here. And today we're here for the setup. This is your setup class. So I want you to put your questions on the box or be prepared to have conversation with me, either or. I'm totally comfortable with either or. Hey, Pierre. We are live, just so y'all know. Y'all know I'm live until this is probably my last week live until we get closer to the DC workshop. Hey, Pierre. Hey, Lou. Once we get close to the DC workshop, then I'll start going live again because I want people to come. You already know. So I hope y'all got your questions. Nakat, did you miss me? That's the biggest question. The biggest question of the day is, did Nakat miss Dee Williams? Did Pat miss Dee Williams? Where are all my people at? Where are my normal people that I haven't seen in almost a week? Where are my staffingpreneurs? Yes, I missed you too. Oh my gosh. More than you can ever imagine. Okay, so let's get started. Today we're talking about setting up your staffing business. That is the idea we're unleashing today. And I am very excited. Before I get into our normal reminders and I pull up the board and all that great stuff, I want to let y'all know that I can't be more excited about where we are in this journey right now. Okay. And I'm talking about this entrepreneurial journey that I'm sharing with each and every one of you. It's really challenging, I feel like, today to be an entrepreneur. I feel like it's very expensive. I feel like, the support that's out there, while it's posed as there's so much support out there, I don't feel like it really is, you know what I'm saying? And so for people who are taking the time to step out of their comfort zone and to really say, you know what, it doesn't matter what's going on around me. This is my vision. This is my goal. This is my idea. I'm unleashing that idea. I'm bringing it to life and actually doing it, I think, is absolutely phenomenal. And to be able to be on a journey with the people who are doing it with me is even more exciting. And this week, just spending time with the staffingpreneurs in Dallas. Y'all know I'm transitioning out of the staffing space, full time. But I'm telling y'all, I told sister, I said, it's things like this I'm going to miss. Now, I'm still going to be having workshops, and all my staffingpreneurs still come to my workshops and different things like that. I just won't be screaming staffing anymore. I want to help all entrepreneurs, reach their, yes, I'm on your face, reach their dreams, unleash their ideas, reach their goals, all of that stuff. And so we're here today, set up staffing. Okay, any imperative questions before I go into our reminders? Anything, because I've been gone for a week. I know some of y'all have been drooling. So is there anything that's imperative? Who's taking the line? Amazing morning. Shoot, I didn't mean to do that. Sign in. Nobody? Everybody's
I think mine is more for run it.
Okay. Okay. Because y'all done leveled up now, Dr. Castle.
Sure did.
Oh, okay. We done leveled up. You got the run it class questions, not the setup. Come on with it.
Yes, that's for sure.
It. That's what graduation. That's what it means to actually. I think this is my course right here. To actually get knowledge and to be able to understand things better, right? And really be able to. Yeah, it's called leveling up. It's pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to stay co-host, but I'm going to share my screen here. Ooh. Okay, it said that my screen. Can you see? Okay. Now let's make sure everybody online can see. Because I didn't look at the comments, but I got my comments open. Hey, y'all. What y'all doing? Hold on. Let me see. There we go. Okay, perfect. All right, perfect. All right, y'all can put your questions in if you have any. I'm going to go in and start our reminders today. So listen, and every week I do this. Let's see, what's my time frame today? Oh, I got a little bit of time to go through this. So I think for my people who attended the workshop this weekend, this is going to sound a lot different or with more clarity, right, than before. I feel like it'll make way more sense because you've got an opportunity to understand the business in a totally different way. When you are starting a staffing business, when you're running a staffing business, one of the most important things for you to remember, is that companies are building teams, right? When they develop their business model, right, they are establishing what departments, what employees they need to have in those departments on what teams. And these are the positions that are needed in order for them to actually create whatever they're creating, support whatever they're supporting, build whatever they're building, whatever the case may be. When you are working with them and you have decided to build this relationship with them where you're like, okay, I want to fill some of the positions for you, you have to understand that you're not just filling positions for a company just to fill a position. These are actual people working on teams. The company has a culture, the teams have a culture, and your job is to find the match beyond them, the person actually being able to do the job, right? It's not easy to find the match, but the match is just more than just the job, right? Let me see if I can get some visual on this. Okay, perfect. So the match is more than just the job. That's number one. I don't see my undos. They moved my thing again. Let's go back. Here we go. All right. So like you have a cultural fit. I don't know if y'all can see that. Can y'all see that? That's a very little circle. So you have maybe I should pull it up a little bit differently. Hold on. Let's go back in. Let's open it up. Yeah, let's go right here. Okay. So when you look at the big circle of what a fit looks like for someone, right? For a company, most people only focus on the technical fit. And when I say TCHNICAL, and when I say technical fit, I mean, can they do the job, right? Most people only focus on that, but that's only one piece of the puzzle, right? Because do they fit culturally into the company? CULTURE. Y'all know I can't spell, right? So do they fit culturally in the company, right? And then there are other parts to the fit as well. How and culture has to do with inside company culture, outside company culture. It's behavior. You know, do we all have the same ideology coming into the organization? Everyone here on this call has experienced an employer saying they weren't a cultural fit. And if not, as recruiters, we hear it all the time. They're not a cultural fit. And I used to think that was a form of discrimination, to be honest with you, when someone said that. But when you start building your own company culture, it's not until you're building your own company culture that you start to understand what it means, to what a cultural fit truly means. Do they fit into the ideology, to the beliefs, to all of those things that we have in our organization? So that's very important. What about functional fit, right? Functional, Functional. So you might be saying, Dee, what's a functional fit? Do they show up on time? Are they dressed appropriately? That goes beyond culture, right? Do they say what they're going to do? Do they have good presentation skills? Do they? Oh, that's another one. Ooh. I can add that in there. Soft skills. Let's do that one, right? There are a number of different soft skills fit, because those two kind of go that way, right? I'm missing one. But there are a number of layers, and you could create more layers based on how you're designing your staffing agency, based on what your secret sauce is, right? If you're the person that is solely responsible, I won't say solely, but in your world, responsible for figuring out, okay, how do I place these particular type of people in a certain type of way and make sure that I screen them appropriately, you may find that there's more fit than that. I had heard at the class this week, people were giving me so many different ideas around all the different types of fits that there could be based on what they're experiencing in the marketplace. But this is to let you know that this is not just about can the person do the job. And if you're only doing the match based on whether or not the person can only do the job, you're going to increase your chances of having to replace the candidate over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. So when companies call me for consulting and they say, Dee, this is my issue, we're always refilling our roles. We're always losing our guarantee. And that's because they're not doing a true fit. They're just finding people who can do the job in that moment. Big difference, okay? Hiring is way more complex than people think. People think it's just as easy as picking somebody who they believe can do the job, but most people, I won't talk about that. All right, number two, you are not to, nor should you place everyone that you talk to, meet, or interview, okay? There are going to be some of you that are going to say to me, Dee Williams, I cannot recruit because I don't have any real contracts. I don't have any job orders. I cannot recruit because I don't have job orders. But the reality is that it's going to be I really want to open some people's minds up. In this business, your candidates are your capital, and that's further down here. But in this business, the people are everything. People are your products in this business. You're in a staffing business. It's your product, okay? So if that's the case, you need to be talking to many candidates, like as many candidates as possible, like as often as possible, okay? Because the more people you talk to, the more you get to see who is and who's not a fit, all right? I never want you to be afraid of not having a job. If your product is people, you should be talking to people to get to know them, to learn more about what they've done in the past, to learn more about what they're looking to do in the future, to really build a relationship with these people so that you can walk this journey with them, this career journey with them. That's what it means to be a recruiter in real life. I know your recruiter might not be doing that. Or you may not have had a recruiter in the past that has done that, but in real life, that's what it means to be a recruiter. That's why I love being a recruiter because of this, because I get to sit down and talk to people about their career goals and where they want to go and what have they done in the past and why they feel like they should get this amount of money and why they're not making that amount of money and what happened with their boss and what's going on in the company and what new skill sets do you, and I mean, really being fired up and excited about it. Like, that is how you engage these people. And I'm going to tell you, some industries are going to be harder to engage than others, like nurses. They're so programmed right now to be transactional that they don't see the value truly in building the relationship. That's why it's your job to show them different. It's your job to show them what it means to actually have a recruiter that walks that journey with them as they're going through these different contracts. Most nurses have multiple jobs, literally. And if you're placing nurses, how can you support them in that aspect, right? So I'll throw that there. Everyone that you talk to, you should be looking to pipeline. You should be looking to build a relationship with. Do not allow that to be an excuse for why you're not talking to candidates. Talk to candidates all day, every day, no matter what. Okay? No matter what, all day, every day. All right. You need a theme for your staffing agency. It should be employer-based, but candidates should still support it. You need a theme. You need something to be able to talk to clients about beyond selling your services. Everybody wants to go in and sell their services immediately. Okay. And that's okay to some degree. And in some instances, it might make sense. But people do business with people they like and know and trust. People do business with people they like and know and trust. People do business with people they like and know and trust. Okay, I won't make it. People do business with people they like and know and trust. And most people want, if you take the time to build a relationship and to really get to know someone, you'll really start to see that everything. Okay. And so when you're looking to get a contract with an employer, I challenge you to not go in and start offering your staffing service or hang up on you, tell you you're not interested, and so forth. And that doesn't mean that they're still not going to do some of those things. Everybody is not nice. Y'all be very surprised how many people listen in my mind, or this thought in my mind that people on LinkedIn were not me, right? Because this is a professional platform and everyone should be very, positive, because you never know, who you're connecting with. Wrong. Like when you start sending messages, you'll get people who are very mean, very nasty. People are just going to be people get to know them or not. But my point is, your goal, you should be trying to get to know them, right? You should be trying to understand them, asking them questions about what they do, where they've been, all of those things. And if you have a theme will allow you to do that with ease, because you two are talking about something that you both resonate with. And that's very important when you're trying to build a relationship with someone. Okay? Very, very important. Now, your candidates are your capital, not your clients. Okay? Now, your clients definitely pay the bill. I'm going to make that a little bit bigger so we can make sure that's very clear. Your clients definitely pay the bill. There is no question about that. They're always going to pay the bill. However, your candidates are your capital. Your clients, they pay the bill and they can become your candidate. That's about it. Maybe they'll give you a referral, but typically they don't, unless you're, phenomenal, stellar. But money off of them all day, every day. When you place them, you make money off of them. Okay. If they're interviewing, they can tell you who's hiring. If they're still working, that's very important. And I won't dive into this, too tough. When you get to the running class, I encourage you to ask me about this bullet point. We talk about it, but if you want to go back to it, anybody who's in my run, most important piece of this whole situation, this whole scenario. People always come to me, I need clients, I need contracts, I need clients. Under their nose. Give you employer leads, who's in the company. They can give you candidate leads in the current company that they're at. If the candidate, they can also, when you're interviewing them, they can give you leads in the last company, both employer and candidates. they get promoted and become clients if you stay on that journey with them. So your candidates are your capital. You should be spending way more time engaging with your candidates and I don't want to say more time engaging with your candidates than your clients, because both are mutually equal. But you definitely need to be putting in real time with your candidates and being genuine about the relationship that you want to build with them. Okay? Because that's going to be very important. One thing, I showed y'all this last week, but I want you to remember that if you go and you get a contract, which I'm very excited for you when you do, when you go and get a contract, typically you're only going to, place one person, one role, right? Just one, maybe 2 or 3, but you got to talk to a number of people before you can fill that role. Your candidates are your capital, right? Because you can have 1,000 candidates. 1,000 candidates. No, let me go back. If you only have one job order, you can only fill one role. But if you have 1,000 candidates, you can create 1,000 capital, and they're going to consistently give you referrals. They're going to consistently level up. They're going to consistently get promoted. Got to know that the time and the energy that you're putting in with your candidates are very important. Which leads me to my next piece. Went by this. Okay. I want you to have at least 50 candidates in your ATS. You should have candidates in your ATS. Shame on you. I'm just giving you that because some people, but you should have way more 50 candidates. If you come to my live workshop, you'll be able to go ahead and start putting your automation together. Okay, you can come put it every day, every day. Okay, but you need at least 50 candidates to your ATS by the time that you launch. All right. I want you to remember that people do business with people they like and know and trust. All right. We talked about that a little bit earlier. And that means that you need to build as many relationships as possible especially with your candidates. But you need to build as many relationships as possible, real relationships. Okay. Also, you want to at least have 50 employer prospects in your ATS as well, minimum. I should put minimum on there, right? Minimum, MIN. That's a minimum. Minimum 50. Minimum, MIN. Very important. You should have way more than that. Okay. I want you to post your jobs online, and you want to post 2 types of jobs. You want to post your internal jobs and the jobs that you're filling for clients. Okay. So these are the jobs that you're looking to. Your internal jobs are like your recruiter, your salesperson, your admin, your who else is in your company? Accounts payable, accounts receivable, whoever, payroll. Those are your internal roles. As your company grows, you're going to need to fill those positions. You don't want to wait until you have the job opening available and you're working in a react. You want to start meeting people who are going to be a part of your journey in advance. I'm telling you right now, most people you interview are not going to be good employees. Most people are not good employees. Most people are not good employees. Don't nobody want to say that. It's the truth. Most employees are not good employees. And so you're going to be talking to a lot of people before you find that 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 people that are, and that maybe even are just good human beings that know how to do the work and that are going to be committed to being on this journey with you. You're a small company just getting started, startup, you know what I'm saying? And so that requires a certain type of employee. That's not everyone. So you want to start putting your feelers out now and early. Don't wait until you got a contract and the company needs you immediately. And now you scrambling, trying to find somebody you can trust. That doesn't make sense at all. Not even on any level. You understand? You want to prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. Start putting your job postings out there now. Let them know you're looking for someone. every day for about an hour to a week. I typically do mine on Fridays. Look at the resumes or start reaching out to people on LinkedIn, start having conversations. Hey, I'm building this amazing company and this is who I'm looking for. And I'm not sure if you're that person, but I would love to keep the conversation going, and to see how things, come together, see how things get along and go from there. You'll be very surprised. Not everybody needs a job. Some people want a job. See, there are two types of employees. There's an employee who has to work because their life depends on it. Okay. There's an employee who has to work because their life depends on it. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that person. But there's an employee who works because they want to work, not because they have to. Their husband takes care of them. They're already wealthy, or they're already sitting on some type of financial pillow that for them working is something to do to get out the house, something to do so that they won't be bored. Some people work to take care of their family and other a person's situation. So you want to find people in the beginning, in my opinion, who don't need a job, but who want to work and who want to help you build your empire out. People who need a job, they tend not to be as loyal to you when your company goes through ebbs and flows. And as a brand new company, it's going to go through ebbs and flows, whether you want it to or not, whether you think it is or not, it's going to go through ebbs and flows. And so you need somebody who's going to be strong enough to stick that out with you, because those are the good employees. And that is also building thick skin in them. And other employers are going to want to hire them as well, because they see that this person can go through ebbs and flows. That's very important. People think they're great employees. You're a great employee unless you're willing to go through the trenches with the person that you are employed to. This is a whole community. This is not my company versus yours or your company versus. We're building a society. We're a functional society. We need each other. We need businesses. We need employees. Period. So take that what y'all want to do. The jobs you want to fill. If you're filling jobs, how many locations are you working in? Okay. So do you have 5 locations, 6 locations, 7 locations, 8 locations? How many roles are you filling? Post those jobs and all the locations that you're filling those roles. Because now you're manifesting where you're about to connect with your employer. You're already going to be pushing your ads out, and you're going to be marketing to employers in those areas. But when those employers connect with you, when you get a contract, and you will get a contract, you got to have a product. You got to have people. You got to have relationships that you've already built. Now, is that going to a job order, and the hiring manager is going to be looking for a purple squirrel? But if you have an already established network, you can go through that network and help let that network help you find that purple squirrel versus you starting from scratch at the very bottom, right? So you want to be smart about the way that you are growing this business. This is very, 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 very important. There's fortune in the follow-up. The fortune isn't in the first call. It's not in the first conversation. It's in there like people miss out on. They don't answer. They don't follow up after they call. They make one phone call when they reach out to a candidate and or an employer. And then they say, this doesn't work. Or they'll make 3 calls and then they stop calling that person. But the fortune is in the follow-up. I've got a staffingpreneur. Her name is Io. I think she called me for maybe 4 or 5 years before she ever signed up for my program. And I'm not even lying to you. I mean, she literally was calling me and not necessarily trying to get free coaching or anything, just building a relationship for years upon years upon years. At one point, I finally was like, I gave up. I was just like, okay, so now we friends. Like, I don't know, because she never gave up. She never, and it wasn't something she was forcefully doing. It was just a very natural ordeal. And I think about that because when you are working when you're looking to do business with someone, when you're looking to build a relationship with a candidate. You can't just pick up the phone one time or email them one time or reach out one time and think something's going to happen. Right? No, you actually have to follow up, and follow up. Key to this business, believe it or not. The fortune is in the follow-up. It's never in the first reach out. It's never in the first reach out. The first reach out is just the introduction. The introduction. Hey, how you doing? My name is Dee. It's nice to meet you. How you doing? Yes, I love anime just like you do. Awesome. Yes, you can have my number. Okay, we exchange numbers and we go. If you never call me back, we ain't going nowhere. See, that's the thing about building a relationship. Building a relationship requires work. Oh, did I say the W word? Oh my gosh. It requires work. It requires follow-up. It requires you constantly connecting and reaching out, but with value. This is why I'm single, I swear, y'all, because guys don't want to follow up. There's no follow-up. And if it is, it's weekends follow-up, but I will talk about that another video. But the fortune is in the follow-up. And I say that about my dating life because dating is very, very similar to business. They both move very, very, very similarly. You meet somebody, and then how that relationship evolves is based on the follow-up that takes place. It's based on the commonalities that you all have, right? So when you're starting a relationship with an employer, yes, you're going to reach out and call, text, email, social media, email, automation, in-person event, referral, podcast, webinar, appointment setter, lead magnets, live. You're going to do all of those things, and they're going to meet you for the first time, and they're going to fall in love with you, and all of that is great. But what happens afterwards? That's when you go in and follow up. And sales says it takes 12 to 24 times at least for somebody to want to do business with you, which means you might want to have 25 lives so that they can get used to you. Who is this lady? I see her live again. Oh, okay, let me chime in on, oh, okay, I enjoy her energy. Okay, I like what she's saying, right? So you might do that. And this is your initial reach out. You're not past the initial reach out until they start and you start engaging with them on a consistent basis. So really, let's take this here, because you could also use lives as a way to continue to follow up. It's not as direct. It's more of an indirect follow-up method, but being in front of someone on a consistent basis is a form of follow-up. But getting them talking about your services, talking about your theme, going through your differentiator, launching your strategic initiatives, any of your strategies that you have, putting those out there, creating awareness about the market and about your brands, pushing your lead magnets, go to my quiz, download my checklist, check out my ebook, which they should all be of value, sending gifts, acts of kindness, and going live. I put lives, but I'm just going to say going, G-O-I-N-G, live, okay? Going live. All of those things are ways that you can follow up, all right? And when you come into the workshop, we talk about all the different ways you can follow up and the strategies that you can implement and so forth. So cool. Now, final things, you got to produce activity or your company will not work. You got to produce activity or your company will not work. A lot of people think that if they set up a business and start the business, that the business is just going to automatically start on its own. It's going to automatically work on its own, that they can make 5 phone calls in a day and the business is going to work. Or they can make 15 phone calls in a day and the business is going to work. Or they can make 20 LinkedIn reach outs and the business is going to work. Or 100 emails and the business is going to work. And that's just not true. This business requires activity, and in order for you to get it off the ground appropriately, you want to know the secret to getting a business off the ground? You got to produce. That's the secret. You got to produce. That means you got to go ham, that shit crazy in the beginning, as many phone calls as you can get in a day until you work up a sweat. You got to work up a sweat. As many LinkedIn messages a day, as many emails a day, as many conversations. The more conversations that you have, the more likely your business is going to kick off. Do you understand what I'm saying? The more conversations you have, the more likely your business is going to kick off. So you've got to get in there every day and start working on your business. And if you're only making 15 phone calls in a day and definitely not having conversations, I'm checking you right now. You're not doing enough. you're not going to be as successful as you want to be, as fast as you want to be. Okay. Now, is it going to be like this forever? No, but you own the company and you're starting it. So you've got to create the momentum in the company in order for it to shoot off. Think about an airplane. The airplane has to go on the thing. That's where you are. You're starting it off. Then you can hire people that can take your vision on to where it needs to go and where it needs to be. Does that make sense? Put a 1 in the box if that makes sense. I need to know that y'all are here with me. I don't feel like y'all here with me. I feel like I'm talking to myself. Okay, Nakat, thank you. Okay, Pat, thank you. Denisha, thank you. Anybody else? Is that are the only 3 people here? Is that it? Okay. Damn. It's quiet class today. I came here with the fire. Come on, Faith. I came here with the fire. Y'all over here sleeping and shit. What the fuck? Hey, Rebecca. Hey, Marion Becky in the house. Come on, Dr. Castle. Come on, wake up. This business requires energy. This is the part that I'm talking about, the performance activity. Y'all got to wake up. You understand? You got to produce in your business. And then your number one, let me go back. After you produce or as you're producing activity in your business, you have to track that activity because a great CEO knows the numbers behind their business. Okay? A great CEO knows the numbers behind their business. So how many phone calls did I make? Am I looking at the reports? How much money did I make? Am I looking at the numbers? Okay. I need to know because I'm a CEO. How will I know how close I am away from my goal or my vision if I'm not tracking what's happening in the organization? Okay. And then finally, hiring an amazing internal staff should be your number one priority. Your number one priority. Who is going to help me build my vision and my dream out? Who is going to help me? I got this quiz out right now because I really want to help people identify who they are because I get a lot of people that come to me and they're like, I hate my job. I'm going to become an entrepreneur. But they're really not cut out to be entrepreneurs because they can't get the business off the ground. And if they can't get the business off the ground, they're probably not meant to be an entrepreneur. So I want to help people identify that because you don't always have to go and build the business or start the business and try to get off the ground. You can help somebody else do that. You can help. I mean, you're going to invest all this time and money into building your own when you really should be investing time and money into building yourself to help someone build theirs. We need both in society. So you're looking for amazing staff. You're looking for people who can help you build out your dream, build out your idea, take it to the next level. People who are fired up about what you're building, your mission, your vision, your purpose, right? That's where you want to be at. What questions do y'all have for me about the setup? And this doesn't have to be about this. These are my reminders. These are just the things that I want to remind you of every week. I need to drill it in your head so that you don't go out and start your staffing agency in a way that people who are rookies who don't have a coach do. Because people who don't have a coach, they don't really know what to do. That's why they still in the same space they was in last week, last month, last year. And they're going to continue to be in that space. For the most part, many of them some may come out, they're going to take the hard road, but you all are not because y'all got me. Y'all got me. And y'all learning how to do it the right way. That's what's the most important piece. Okay, hold on 1 second. All right. All right. What questions do you have for me? What questions? I'm so excited to learn from you this week, Dee. I've seen you in MDR. Let's do it. Hey, Justin. Yes. Okay. In my class, any questions? What would you consider the right amount of phone calls and emails to get through to organizations in a day or as a I guess can you clarify the question a little bit more and why you're doing that? Okay, in a day. So you're probably only reaching out once in that day, right? And it depends on who the client is. Is this in your target market or is this in your generalist market, right? Because I believe you should be focusing on your target market and your automations should be focusing on your generalist market. And if that's the case, then your conversations that you're having out the day may not just be like this, right? It may be you're calling into 50 people in the same company to get intel to talk to the person that you want to talk to, while building relationships with those people. Because remember, people do business with people they like and know. And the more people in an organization that can champion you, the better, right? So if, let's say, for example, because this, for some people, this may seem unreachable, but it's not. Okay, so let's say my goal is to reach Elon Musk directly. So I was at a hotel a couple of years ago. I met one of his employees, genius kid, interning, genius kid, right? And he's like, D, connect with me. We're gonna create some things. I'm like, dope, let's do it. Right. So he was my first person, number one. That was my first degree of separation from the hiring manager I'm actually looking to do business with. But now once I start to get to know him and have him introduce me to someone else, now there's someone else in the organization. And each conversation that you're having is going to be a little bit different, but you're going to gain more intel. So your conversations may go like that. You may be focusing on conversations that help you get into with that particular hiring manager. You may have an hour or two where you function like that in your business. And then you may have an hour or two where you're straight cold calling, like you're on a dialer and connecting with as many people as possible. And then you're going to lunch and break. And then you're going to go do the same thing with your candidates. But you remember, you've got email automation running in the background. You might have LinkedIn automation running in the background. So you've got to put time aside during the day to be able to connect with those people. And then don't forget, you got to follow up. So some of your phone calls may not be initial reach out calls. They might be follow-up strategies, or they might be follow-up phone calls. You might be making phone calls to get somebody onto your webinar or onto your podcast. You might be making phone calls to whatever your strategic initiative is. Like, so your 100 or 80 or 100 or however many phone calls you're making a day just need to be more than 15 or 20. 15 or 20 means you ain't doing shit. That's what that means. Unless you're having 15 or 20 conversations. If you're having 15 or 20 conversations, that's very different, because those conversations will take time. But most people ain't answering that phone like that. And you're going to get way more voicemails than anything, which means your call volume should be up. On average, my salespeople make 80 calls in a day. You understand what I'm saying? 80 calls in a day. Yes, Dr. Castle, we should be running client and candidate campaigns at the same time. Both of them. That's exactly right. And pray. I mean, we want the contract, but we pray that we've got built relationships before that client decides they want to do business with us. Hey, Tara. Hey, Christopher. Hey, Martha. Hey, Empress. Hey, Miss Jackson. That's my TikTok family. Y'all watching me talk about staffing today. When I come back, I'm going to be talking about unleashing any type of idea you want to unleash. We're going to talk about that, okay? We're going to talk about that. Hey, Goose. Hey, Joe Friday. Hey, Denise. Okay. Let me see. Dee, please tell us more about phone. First, I want to just stop. Did I answer everybody? Faith, did I answer your question? Did that make sense to you? Did that feel good to you? Do you have a better idea now? Okay, I think she's saying yes. All right. All right, Niket asked Dee, please tell us more about phone strategies. Like, what more would you want to know? What do you want to know? Oh, I think I just gave you a whole list of them. I mean, tell me exactly. You can get on the line, Niket. What exactly do you want to? How can I flesh it out more for you? I guess that's my question. Lines are open. You can feel free to open. I can't hear you, Niket. I think you're on mute.
Dee, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. How you feeling today? I missed you so much.
How was your trip?
I missed you so much. The workshop was amazing.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, Dee, I want to know about when we are talking to a person who is a passive candidate, not actually looking for a job. So, and the person who have they are for a particular kind of a job. So what is the difference between the strategies which we should adopt while speaking to the passive active candidates.
Yeah. So active candidates, of course, are always so much easier because they are literally like putting the they're looking for a job, right? So when someone's looking for a job, you can have that conversation with ease. When someone's not looking for a job, it is definitely a lot more strategic. I think I definitely enjoy talking to people who don't want a job than I do who are looking for a job, because those are the people that companies genuinely want to hire the most. And I know that sounds crazy, but companies want to hire people who are already working, not people who are unemployed. So having conversations with them is a sales conversation, the cat. It's a sales conversation, because if you're happy in your job, you're not looking to talk to a recruiter about a new job. But I guess my question to you, so there are two types of conversations that you're having with passive and active candidates, but specifically passive candidates. You're having your conversation for when you're actively looking for a role, where you're recruiting for a role, and then you're having pipeline conversations with passive candidates. I always go in the door from the perspective of pipelining. I never go in the door like I'm approaching a job to someone who's passive, because I want to learn a little bit more before I go into that direction. I want to hear from them. I want to get a little bit more information from them before I decide, do I want to pitch this job? So if it's a passive candidate, they're currently working right now, I'm like, hey, Dwayne, I see your, my name is Dee, I'm a recruiter. I'm not going to go into run it stuff. So I'm not going to go in like that. But I would say that that I would definitely take the perspective of, not that I have a job, right? I'm a recruiter. I'm looking to learn a little bit more about your career goals, where you want to go, or I'm networking. So that's my favorite one. I'm networking with you. Hey, I'm recruiting for a role for such and such. I want to know if you know somebody. And if they know somebody, then they'll say, oh, I know somebody, or they'll say, well, I'm interested. You know what I'm saying? If they say, no, I don't know anybody, and then I might ask them a few questions, say, would you be interested in learning a little bit more about this role? Are you happy in your current role? So a lot of times I'm networking with you approach to actually recruiting them, right? If it is a position that I'm having a hard time filling, then I might be a little bit more direct, because I don't know if other people have already reached out to them about that role. But I would still take a very light approach, because they're currently working. And passive people are meaner than active, right? Active job seekers want to talk to you. They're like, yes, call me. Passive ones, they be like, stop calling my phone. Bam. They will hang up on you. I'm happy in my job. Click. Why are you calling me? Click. Stop sending me messages. Like, they can be very hostile. And, so you worried about the hiring manager. Talk to a passive candidate. Like, sometimes they can be very overwhelming. But you got to have thick skin.
Sorry. In that case, is it a good idea to approach them via email rather than doing a phone call?
Don't you let that stop you, Nakat. Don't you let that stop you. That's number one. That's fear. That was fear that just came out. We rebuke that. No fear. Okay. We making those calls. So that's number one. Number two, whenever you're reaching out to a candidate, you should be doing a quadruple threat. Phone, email, LinkedIn, text. All of those things should be happening. And potentially social media too. Okay. So like Facebook or whatever, but you should never just pick up the phone and call a candidate and not follow it up with a LinkedIn invite, or not follow it up with a text message, or not follow it up with an email. Every time you reach out to a candidate, it should be multiple ways that you're reaching out, because you don't never know what way resonates with that candidate the most, right? That candidate may only want to may respond back faster with text messages than with emails. But I call people on their job. I call them right at work, right at their office, right at their desk. I don't care, because at the end of the day, my money depends on it. And ain't nobody about to take my money away. I'm about to make more. And I'm competing, Nakat. I'm competing against myself. I'm competing against my teammates. I'm competing against every other recruiter in the industry. Like, I'm competing. So I go up to their office. I'll wait outside. At the end of the day, be calling that phone, see when they coming out. I will stalk somebody for the right role, especially if if the placement fee is nice, like shucks, I'm going to get my placement. I'm going to get my person. And I have done many of those things in my past to get my placement. You know, does it always work? Sometimes yes, sometimes no. I've been chased out of parking lots before. That don't scare me. In stilettos, that don't scare me. That don't scare me at all.
Energy, yeah, you give us energy. Positive energy.
Chase me out, but you're gonna have to chase me out because I'm getting my placement. I'm finding my person, and I'm a winner. I'm winning. I'm a winner. Period.
Yeah, true. You know, because in the case like the niche which I am following, it is more of a passive candidates because the demand is more and the supply is less here.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah, so everybody is happy in their job, so they should entertain me.
When you come to the Run It class, we can get in more detail. This is the setup class, and I don't want to give all my goodness out to all the people who are live. Not that I don't love y'all.
Thanks for answering.
You know I love y'all. Okay, that's awesome. All right, y'all can keep putting your questions. I'm going to answer some of the questions that we have live, and hopefully they'll answer some of your questions as well. Jerryville says, hi, Dee. I am recruiting for a law firm that's requested for us to onboard our placements with the company. That's requested for us to onboard our placements with their company. This wasn't included in the fee agreement. How do we approach the conversation? I think he's saying modifying the contracts. I guess it didn't finish on my screen. You got to go back and approach them. You got to go back and say, this is a different service than what our contract has. Would it be okay if we put a master service agreement in place to cover all services? So whenever you want to do a new service or whatever, you can. I'm going to say that respectfully, you didn't sell your service appropriately. And I say that with love and respect. In my opinion, you should always put a master service agreement in place. And you should always discuss all of the service options that they have available to them. Just because a company says they come to you and say that they want to do business with you in a certain way doesn't mean that that's the most feasible way that y'all should do business. You understand what I'm saying? Or there may be other ways that y'all need to do business, or there may be other opportunities. If they were gung-ho about only doing business with you in one certain way, and now they're coming back to do it another way, that would be a flag to me. Because and I would probably ask, you know, what led them to this decision, because it would make me feel like that this is something that they do consistently with other firms as well, and how they like try to get over or in some way, and I don't know. So I would definitely ask us more questions to find out why they're looking to do this this change. But it shouldn't be any problem to introduce a master service agreement. This is a great example of how they are interested in working with you in more than one way. And so since they're interested in working with you in more than one way, in the future, there are probably going to be other ways that they're going to be interested in working with you. And you want to have that option there. That was a great question. That's a tough situation to be in, Jerryville. But when you first establish, I got 3 comments at one time, but when you first establish that relationship with that company, you want to make sure that you go through all your service offerings so that they can understand what you have the ability, with how you all have the ability to work together. And then from that point forward, then you want to administer a master service agreement so that you can ensure that you can cover as many of the services as possible. That is my response on that. I hope that was helpful a little bit. I see fires in the chat. Dr. Jerry, so glad to see you. Okay. Terrell, hey, Terrell. He says, what advice do you have for those clients that once worked with you on a standard fee of 20%, and then they ask if they can lower the fee? My thoughts are to initially break the payments down to make it affordable before bringing the fee down. I could ask for exclusivity, but what if I don't get the volume of work? Thoughts? Those are all great questions. And I guess the question would be, why are they looking to lower the fee? What's your niche market? And why are they looking to lower the fee? And are you presenting the level of value to them that, like, Are you, because like if you're giving true value or they feel or see your true value, then lowering the fee would not be something that they would be thinking about. So why do they need to lower the fee? I think that would be my biggest question. And are you asking that question? And I think what's the niche market as well, because that makes a difference too. Because if it's a market that is very, that is very fruitful and they're asking to lower the fee, that's a question. You know what I'm saying? But if it's a market that's actually going through a transition, like the trucking industry, LTEX, different places like that, then, I kind of see that. So my first thing is always ask questions like, why? Why? And second, I don't have a problem with breaking the payments down before lowering the fee. I think that's actually a great idea. But I guess my other question is, when you submit your contract, do you offer them an incentive for paying the contract early? Because that, I would prefer to do that, to pay the invoice early. I would prefer to lower the fee for them to pay the invoice like within 10 days. So like with my students, I tell them, like, on your contracts, you let them know that if you pay the fee within 10 days, we'll lower the percentage and you're guaranteed your guarantee. But if you pay the invoice after 10 days, the 20% stands and the guarantee may not be blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I'm saying? So that is also another way, because wouldn't you rather have your fee within 10 days and take 2% off than to have the full fee and be paid 90 to 120 days later? Think that went through. Let me know, Terrell, what are your thoughts? He said, I have this saying in my head, if you don't stand for something, then you'll fall for anything. Facts. Preslin, hey Preslin, I'm working on starting a staffing agency. It's so difficult. I would say definitely it's not for the weak. It's definitely for people who are strong in their thought process and their heart energy. It's definitely for the people who are ready to invest now to get the reward later, right? It can be challenging, but when you have the right guidance, when you have the right support, then it can be a much easier journey. That's one of the reasons why I created Staffingpreneurs Academy. It was one of the reasons why I have the live classes every week. It's one of the reasons why I do the live workshops. I go hard because I do know it's not so easy to just like start a business. Not just starting a staff. Most businesses are not easy to start. People think just because you legalize a business doesn't mean your business is started at all. That is only a piece. Can I get an amen to my clients? Like, just because you legalize the business does not mean the business is started.
Amen.
That's only a tiny piece of it. That is only a tiny piece of it. It's something to celebrate, but that's just a very small piece of the puzzle. There's so much more that has to be done. Real talk. Okay. Real talk. Terrell said, pay the invoice early was another option. Great call. I've placed executives in the organization and I'm niched and managed, service providers. However, they are backed by a PE firm, so the profit margin, I'm sure, is a concern. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure it is a concern. That makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, I would try to get with pay the invoice early as the option, and I'm open to breaking down the payments. Just if they're giving you volume, then you could take it down. So two things. If they say, okay, Lady T, thank you. If they say, so if you negotiate, if you're going to go through the negotiation process, I would say do everything in increments of 1%. So if they 20%, we can do 19%. Okay, not 19, 18, 17, 16, with 15 being your bottom line. I will also say don't if they're giving you volume, yes. If they're giving you exclusivity, yes. Those things. And those things still do happen, right? They do happen, but it's all about the value that you show. The other thing that I would ask Terrell is there a way that you can add more value so that they don't feel like they need to lower that? You know, you understand what I'm saying? Is there some other way that you can add more value to your service model? And I'm not sure what that is. I'm just throwing it out there, something for you to think about, something to just kind of process in your head. Something to process in your head. Okay. Any other questions? We're at the end of class right now. Any other questions? This is the setup. This is your setup class. Setup class. Setup class, starting the staffing business. All right, so we're in a good space. Everybody's got their questions out. Y'all feel good. Y'all are happy. Y'all are fired up. I want y'all working in your business every day this week. Come back to class next week. Working your business every day this week. Come back to class next week. Working your business every day this week. Come back to class next week. I didn't say 4 days this week. I said every day this week. Okay. That is very, 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 very important. I'm going to take one more question. What niches would you suggest to narrow in a field to find a unique offering? I don't feel like you should just pick a niche out your ass. I don't agree with that. And I don't agree with you picking a niche because it's popping or whatever. I feel like you want to find a niche where you have a network, wherever you have a strong network, where you know the most people. This business is a people business. This business is built around people. So wherever you have the strongest network is where you want to build your business. Where you have the most relationships is where you want to build this business. Where you have the most passion, where you know the most. Those are 3 different options. They can all be together or 3 separate things. But to me, the most important thing is where you have the most relationships, because those relationships turn into placements and dollars and all of those things. Otherwise, you've got to build relationships with people. And that takes time. We know that building a relationship takes time. So that's very important. Last question for this call. I see your emoji, Dr. Jerry. So funny. I now have candidates coming to us to help them find job placements. How do we pivot from hiring for clients to working for candidates? Some states it's not legal to do that, right? I mean, and to charge them for you to find placements, that's not legal. So make sure you check your laws to make sure that that it is legal. So I want to say that, and some states require a license to do that, because back in the day, a lot of recruiters were taking people's money, telling them they want to find them a job, and they never did. And so it got legal. So those laws, make sure you check the laws around that. I think you should continue to work for hiring for clients, right? But as a part of hiring for clients, you are working for the candidates. When you're getting to know them, when you're building relationships with them, you're working for them, because now you can take those candidates and you can mark them into other companies. Now you don't get paid for that, right? You don't get paid for that. But as you're talking to them and you're getting to know them, you're going to consistently look for the match. Look for the match of companies who need people like them with that skill set, and vice versa, if that makes sense, right? So your business model is working for the candidates. It already is that model. You already have that model. You just don't get paid for it until the employer pulls the trigger. But if you understand how to work your business model appropriately, you'll understand that you have leverage when you have the relationship with the candidate to market those candidates into organizations. I always say you can have 10,000 job orders, but if you don't have any candidates, you're not going to make any money. But if you have 10,000 candidates, you can turn those candidates into 10,000 job orders. Shout out to Pablo. 10,000 job orders, right? So you are already working for your candidates right now in this current business model. Now, I will say there's some other things you could probably do, like you could offer training, you could offer different products, different services that they have to pay for that are not the job placement per se. And that can be a way that you can continue to generate revenue within your organization. But so I hope that helped. I hope that I got I don't want to. I hope that helps. I'll just say that. I hope that helps. I hope that helped. All right, I'm going to close out here. Few things, just a few reminders. We have LA this week at the Launch Land Leverage Workshop. This is the last workshop we're doing. We'll do one more in September in Washington, D.C. But this is the one in LA. You can still get your ticket. We start on Wednesday. We'll be together 3.5 days. The one in DC is going to be 4.5 days. After doing the one in Dallas, I realized we need more time. So the one in DC will be 4.5 days. The one in LA will still be the regular standard time. So that's the first thing I want to say. The second thing I want to say is that I have just a few more slots left for the one-on-one coaching program, the Mastery coaching program. If you're not familiar with it, go to staffingpreneursacademy.com, go to the shop, go to coaching packages. You get 3 months, an hour a week with me, and to kind of get through your business, to try to push through your business. And so that's for people who need a little bit more support but can't afford my larger packages. We have those. I only have, I think, 3 more slots open. And so that's all my calendar can take. Terrell said another workshop in Dallas, please. I'm trying to get away from the staffing side. We'll do another workshop in Dallas though, but I don't know if it's going to be solely staffing. I will do another workshop in Dallas, but I don't know if it's going to be solely staffing. I love Dallas. I love the people. I love the energy. I loved the group of people we had in Dallas. I've been posting the videos, the testimonials. I hope y'all are catching them. Please like and subscribe and heart and comment under each of the videos. I'll be sharing some of the footage of the training that I did out there in little in pieces and increments. I want y'all to come to the workshop. Dee Williams with these live classes is totally different from Dee Williams in person. Okay? 2 totally different Dee Williams, 2 totally different experiences. I want you to be able to experience what this young lady can bring to the table live and in person. It's not a freaking game. Okay? And talk about clarity. You're going to watch. I got more testimonials coming out. The level of clarity that people got, the level of understanding was crazy. And we built real relationships with each other. We grew our family. It was just a really, really, really beautiful experience. I'm still very high off of the experience, believe it or not. And I am looking to help as many people before the end of the year as possible. Y'all know that this is my last year pushing and coaching at this capacity in the staffing space. I will still go throughout the course of the year, but this is pretty much the last year. So if y'all want coaching, now is the time to do it. And then I'm passing the torch to someone else. Okay. So if you're interested in working with me, this is now the time to do it. Get into the live class, get into one of the private coaching programs. We've got a standard, legacy, accelerated. One is discontinued that I won't talk about here. But we've got a lot of different programs, and we've got digital products on Staffingpreneurs Academy that you can check out as well. So if you need support with your staffing business, you know, this is where you go. I'm the go-to person. Okay. So I really appreciate you. Okay. I have not been to Vegas for a workshop. I've not done a Vegas workshop just yet. I have clients in Vegas, but I have not done a Vegas workshop. That would definitely be pretty cool, actually, because I love Vegas. It just be hot, so crazy hot in Vegas. But that would be cool. All right, I love y'all. Run it class today, 2 p.m. Does anybody need launch class today? Does anybody need launch? Anyone? Who needs launch?
I'm real close. You know I need launch.
If y'all don't need launch class, that's fine, because that'll give me an hour to get myself together before I meet with Pat. Because I can't go another week without meeting with Pat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so no launch class today because it doesn't seem like anybody needs it. So we will just be doing.
You can't hear me?
Huh?
You can't hear me?
I can now. Who's this?
Oh, that's Dr. Castle.
Hey, Dr. Castle.
Hey.
Hey.
I need launch class.
Okay,
Unless we're gonna do, wait, maybe till next week.
Can we wait till next
Will it
week?
work?
Yeah. And so a few things, like this is my last week with the live workshops. I have only 1 day left to prepare for this LA event, and the rest of my packages didn't come. So I got to talk to somebody in Dallas to see if they can help me pick my packages up and ship them here when they get there.
You're supposed to be talking to me about that.
Okay. Well, then talking to you about that. And then I haven't met any of my clients in a week. So I want to meet with a couple of people. So if we can not do launch class this week and do next week, that'll be great, because my life will be back to normal.
Okay.
I appreciate that so much. I love you so much for that. So I'm definitely going to call you, because I think they said they'll be there tomorrow.
Okay. Let me know.
So that would be great. Thank you. Micaiah said, is there an age requirement to start? I'm 18. You can be 18. I've got a staffingpreneur out in Texas. He started with me when he was 19. He's in his early 20s now. He has placements, people on billing. He's doing his thing. Shout out to Lawson. Love you, Lawson. So you can definitely be young and do this business for sure. For sure. For sure. Okay. Very, very, very much so. All right. All right. So no launch, run it class at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. I'm going to log into my morning meeting, my sales team. I haven't seen my sales team in a week, and so I'm hoping they miss me too. I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all next week. Y'all have an amazing day and be phenomenal. Bye, y'all. Bye. Oh, wait, one thing. Oh, wait. Hold on. My okay, yes. Okay, yes. All right, bye, y'all. I was like, wait, I forgot something. Okay, I see y'all later. I love y'all.